In February this year, a hunter told me he would shoot me if I tried to stop him from hunting on my land. In March, I was invited to Sweden to talk about the forest and the jaguars, and then the COVID crisis struck and I had to stay in Sweden. Now I'm back in Panama by Rio Pacora, Rio Guana, and I just spent a week there. It was not possible to drive out because the hurricane Eta came in over Central America and dumped rain, and the road was so bad we couldn't get out until it was fixed. But I had 7 days there to think and walk the forest, and I still think the same. I don't decide what we do around Rio Pacora and Rio Guana, but I can be part of taking care of it because the people of Panama want to take care of it. We need that area. That forest grows and produces clean, clear water every day of the year. There was a big clear cutting in the 1960s that led to November 1966 flooding. Not because of the rain itself, but because the ground was full of logs and debris from the logging, and the big rain caused a tapon, an obstruction in the river that broke, and then the flood wave killed people. But since then, we have had more people realize that we need that forest to keep this area safe, to keep the water clear. And now we have the ways to create jobs. We can invite people from Panama City, tourists from all of Latin America and abroad, come here and enjoy it. And there's also a tradition in Panama of hospitality. You want to invite and show the best thing you have. So in the 60s and 70s, the best thing was farming, cattle farming. That was promoted. And you got loans to go in and cut down the trees and move in cattle. And hunting was part of the tradition too. But now we have other ways forward. We can offer jobs as a tourist guide, as a biologist, a scientist, to build things, to cook things, to receive people. And also, we need to help the young generations of Panama reconnect with nature and countryside. And we can do that here in La Cuenca de Pacora, Rio Pacora, Rio Guana. And also in August this year, 2020, a new resolution was passed to give further protection to this area. So how can we solve this conflict between cattle farmers, hunters, and those who want to enjoy the river for recreation? We have to talk, we have to meet. And I posted a photo on social media while I was in the forest. So I couldn't see what happened because internet went down because of the Hurricane Eta. And then I saw I have more than 100 reactions to that. It is sensitive. Yes, hunters have certain rights. But what's happening is we've been there for a long time now, helping the forest regrow. And we use the river sides to watch animals. And dusk and dawn and even nighttime are some of the best times to see animals. You sit still, you hide, you have a platform in a tree, you have a hideout, and you watch the animals. And if someone comes hunting there at night without giving notice, and often without knowing that we are there can be an accident. The hunter can shoot something that is not an animal. It could be a child, a student, one of us. So I want us to get together and realize that Rio Pacora, Rio Guana is for everybody. And there are laws that the Panamanian people have put in place. And one is that las riberas del río es de uso público. The river sides have free access to public. So you can be there. We can be there. Hunters can be there. Tourists can be there. Kids can be there. Students can be there. But if you want to hunt, you need a weapons license, a hunting license, and you need permission from the owner of the land. So when I went down there, I went into a place they fenced off to build a hunter's lodge, and I crossed the barbed wire, and I said, we need to talk about this. And they said, no puedes estar aquí, es ilegal. You can't be here, it's illegal. Si te vemos aquí, te disparamos. If we see you here, we will shoot you. And that's not how it works. Well, it's not how it's supposed to work. And they won't kill me because in Panama, you don't do that so easily. You talk. And you can sound bullish. I don't think they would. Unless they're drunk. That's another problem. People come for the weekend. You have really responsible hunters who know what to hunt and they do it and they follow the law. And you have groups drinking beer, driving in their pickups, using flashlights, torchlights, and then shooting. They see some ice there in the tree, they can shoot it. They might not know what it is. So let's get together and talk about this. And I see the future as supported by the law, supported by all the NGOs that have this area, Pacora iguana, as a place they protect. The thousands of people they had here. I've guided to the Jaguar Falls dozens, hundreds of times. And people enjoy the place. It's not easy to walk here at all. So be careful. And I recommend dry season. But it's a wonderful rainforest. It's nature. It's clean water. It's animals. And we can use this together. And the public access to the riversides is really important. And when I went there with the police this week, I want to talk to the hunters and say, I will hear what you have to say. I will respect what you think, but you need to comply with the law. And you need to realize that when you hunt at night without knowing who's out there, you can shoot one of us. You don't want to, but you might. So what is the way forward now? Sweden was a time for me to reflect and think about the future, and I still think the same way. I will be here for 2 more generations. It's funny to say. Probably 40 more years active here. I enjoy the forest. And in 40 years, there can be 2 more generations. So the kids I meet in the schools here in Pacora today will grow up and have their kids before I leave. So how will they view Rio Pacora? How will they view Rio Iguana, this area, Parque Chagres? More and more I see that they share a love, a care for this area, for the big animals, the jaguar, the pride that Panama has this amazing fauna and flora, and that Panama has decided to protect this. And Panama has decided to go towards ecotourism, adventure tourism, science tourism, learning. We have neighbors now up in the valley above Jaguar Falls, and they got 70 cameras to learn about how jaguars move and how they behave. And that's the way things are moving. So the hunters are older and they're kind of the past. The future are the young kids who care for the forest, kind of the Greta Thunberg crowd. And having fun, because in Panama, there used to be a strong connection with the land, el interior. You have a grandpa, grandma, and they knew a lot about how to plant and how to enjoy nature. And that has, in a way, been lost. So Pacora is close to Panama City. We're part of the capital district. And we can receive Panamanians who will reconnect with this. We have that, families. Actually, most who come here, that's initiated by the women in the family. They want to bring the family out here and feel that again. So yes, let's protect this area. Let's group together with other groups who want to plant forest, regenerate forest, enjoy nature. Let's keep inviting the hunters and tell them that if you want to hunt, you have to follow the law. You have to have a weapons permit, a hunting license, and the permission from the person who owns the land. So in February, I was told by a hunter, if I try to stop him from hunting on my land, he will shoot me. At the time, I thought he would not do it. I still think so. But maybe in the heat of the moment, who knows? So when I was out this week, I came back after a long hike, wet, hungry, wanted to get home. And I heard hunting dogs. Ruff, ruff, ruff. I like those dogs, they're smart dogs. But when I hear those, I know that people with long guns out there. And then I saw the hunters, and one of them was the one who told me, in February, if you stop me from hunting, I will shoot you. So I stopped and thought they didn't see me, so I let them walk on, and I sit here for a while until they get a head start. And then the dogs come. And I was sitting there and I want the dogs to pass me, because if the dogs don't pass me on the path, the hunters might come back and see what are the dogs barking about. So two dogs are a bit more strong. They run past me and they look at me and sniff a bit and go. And the third dog is an insecure dog, and she stops and barks at me. So I'm sitting there trying to look friendly so that she can pass on the path, because it's a really steep mountainside and it's a narrow path, and we have to pass within like half a meter. So she has to trust me to pass me. But meanwhile, she barks at me, and in a way it's the same way as when a dog corners an animal and barks at them to attract the attention of the hunters, because that's how you can hunt felines. You get the dogs to tree them, and then the dog keeps the cat up in the tree, and you come there, you got plenty of time, because the dog can keep that cat in the tree for hours. You come there, you got a torch, you shine, and you shoot down the cat. So I was the cat. Luckily, the dog calmed down, I sat down, I looked friendly, the dog passed, and it was good. I still do not think that the hunters would kill me, but it's time to talk. It's time to sit down, because if you sit down and talk and I can listen to them, they can listen to me, because I don't have all the truth. I need to learn from them. There's a reason people put cattle in there. They were encouraged to do so. And there's a reason people hunt. And in some perspectives, hunting can be fine, because we're part of the ecosystem and we also eat. But then you need to know how you hunt and know what's in the forest and know how much the forest and the ecosystem can support in carrying capacity. And also you have to know that there's no children or me up in the tree when you're hunting. So I will be there for 2 more generations. I invite you to join this conversation. I will build a place by the riverside of Rio Iguana, where you all are welcome to talk with each other and with me. I will call it comunidad, which means community. And if a hunter or you or anybody comes and says, ¿por qué se llama comunidad? Why is it called community? ¿Qué es la comunidad? What is community? Tú como gringo, you as a gringo, I would say it's us, you and I. Whoever is here right now is comunidad. If I'm not here, those who are still there. So there, we need to sit down and work this out. Have a good day.